Brian, I would ask how you are, but we need to talk about Monday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs maintained their winning start to the NFL season with a 26-13 home victory against the New Orleans Saints. Kansas City Chiefs, what do you reckon of them this week, Brian?
Feels like they're back, right? This is why I've had the Chiefs continually near the top of talkSPORT's Super Bowl contenders rankings. We'll get into all that later because there's so much to get into in this program, but this is what I and many have been expecting to see from the Chiefs all season, right? You knew there'd be a little bit of a hangover. You knew that, you win another Super Bowl and Travis Kelce's out going all over the globe on the Eras Tour with Taylor Swift, and Patrick Mahomes is supporting the Royals, and they're doing their thing, and they have major injuries. But last night, we saw the Kansas City Chiefs look like the best team in the NFL again. We also saw that Kansas City Chiefs have Kareem Hunt in the backfield. They haven't had that in 6 years. And so this is what I wanted to see from Travis Kelce. This looks like Travis Kelce, future Hall of Famer. He's the go-to guy, game high in receptions. Patrick Mahomes, over 300 yards. It was an explosive offense. They played a good New Orleans team that has some issues all of a sudden, which we'll also get into. But this is the Chiefs team that can win the Super Bowl, and this is what we've all been waiting to see. They look like, once again, the best team in the NFL.
And the thing about the Kansas City Chiefs, Brian, is that they are now 5-0. Yeah. But they're doing what, and just to put it into football terms, into soccer terms, it's what they talked about with Man United and Sir Alex Ferguson for so long. They win even when it's difficult, and they're proving that. They've done that, and now they're not showing off. That's not the right phrase. But now they're feeling a little bit more comfortable.
You're seeing a team that is supremely confident, right? You're seeing a franchise that has won it. They know exactly what they're doing. They know how to do it. What I love about the Chiefs team is you have major injuries. You have major injuries at running back, at wide receiver. You have off-the-field issues. You have drama. You have all these things. You have the entire world watching you. And last night, the Chiefs did exactly what they did last year, which is what they take all that, they process it, they figure out a way to handle it, and by the time kickoff comes, they push it to the side, they throw it in the trash. It doesn't matter anymore. I love that in that game, the Kansas City Royals, Major League Baseball, are beating the Yankees. And you have a chant going, "Let's go Royals" at the stadium. And Patrick Mahomes, who is a part owner of the Kansas City Royals, is hearing that and getting pumped up from that because he's a huge Royals fan. That tells you how confident that team is that Patrick Mahomes can throw for 300-plus yards. He can connect with Travis Kelce. He can make Kareem Hunt look like an all-pro again, all these things. But he's also supporting his favorite Major League Baseball team. This is a team that when it's all clicking, and it was last year in the Super Bowl, they cannot be beaten. They can handle anything and deal with anything. They are the kings of adversity, and they're also the kings of the NFL.
What do you reckon about the whole likability of the Chiefs? Yeah. Because, for years, really, the Kansas City Chiefs were like, the fun team. They were like the team that hadn't won the Super Bowl and really there were so many people behind them. The neutrals were behind them. Do you think that's still the case? Because it seems to be now that, are they turning into the hated New England Patriots of like 5-10 years ago?
Yeah, we covered this a few weeks ago on the program, and are they the evil empire? And it's easy to root against them. And I joked at the time, and I keep mentioning her name because she's so popular, Taylor Swift, but I felt like that changed once Taylor Swift jumped on the bandwagon. Obviously, she did that because her boyfriend is Taylor Kelce. But it became very easy to root against the Chiefs or to hate the Chiefs or be tired of them once you had Taylor Swift and all the Swifties, and they became a global type of team. But I always come back to the fact that this is a really good football team. They have an explosive offense. And I've always said, for the record, I have no problem. It's very easy to root for the Kansas City Chiefs. I actually think that you have a problem, the general you.
I was about to say.
If you are a hater of the Chiefs, what is there to hate about this team? When they're this good, they can deal with anything. They have the best quarterback in the NFL, the current GOAT of the NFL. I love the Chiefs offense. So that's what I always come back to, that, they're a little too popular and you get a little tired of them. But in the end, this isn't a boring team. This is a team that is absolutely exciting and thrilling to watch. They're must-see TV every week, and Monday Night Football proved that.
Okay, we'll talk about just a bit more on Taylor Swift in a second. Worth mentioning the New Orleans Saints as well. Derek Carr, he went out with an oblique injury. Not sure if he's going to be able to play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the next game at the weekend. And for me, we've spoken so much about the Kansas City Chiefs and their injuries, the receivers, the running backs, how they're going to be able to cope. For the New Orleans Saints, I came into this season thinking, how are they going to cope with this offensive line? It is not a good offensive line. The first two games of the season, the New Orleans Saints, they rack up over 40 points. Now, since then, they've lost 3 games. Now, what does that coincide with? The offensive line that I wasn't sure about before the start of the season going out injured. We had the New Orleans Saints playing 2 offensive linemen that started the season. We're 5 weeks in, Brian. We're 5 weeks in. And the 3 that they've got playing, some of them are not even playing in their first positions as well. Now, look, if you are a casual to the NFL, you might not realise quite. Yes, the offensive line is boring. When your team drafts an offensive lineman, it is boring. But when you have a good offensive line, it helps the whole team. It masks a lot of the situations, doesn't it? It masks the quarterback. And I feel like the New Orleans Saints over the next few weeks, if their offensive line, well, obviously combined with Derek Carr's injury as well, if that doesn't get better, we might be seeing the first 2 weeks, the New Orleans Saints looked great. We might not be seeing that over the next few weeks. Let's just touch upon Taylor Swift as well with the Kansas City Chiefs, because there were some remarks that are worth mentioning, Brian.
This is what happens when you are hated or you are loved. You're the most popular team in the NFL, and you become one of the most popular sports franchises in the world. Everything is under the microscope. Everything is scrutinized. But you also throw in Monday Night Football, and you have that platform, and then you have the Manning cast. And so, yeah, you had a couple very interesting viral things for that game on social media. We have this all covered, of course, at talkSPORT.com. But Bill Belichick, part of the Manning cast, I love what Bill Belichick has brought as an analyst, as a broadcaster, as a social media voice. But Taylor Swift is shown on the screen, and he kind of gives his Belichickian, like, I've seen her too. I don't want to see her anymore, even though he is a Swiftie. He wears the sweatshirt. And then the other part of this, which got a lot of controversy, was Troy Aikman, Hall of Fame, legendary quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. For the record, I love Troy Aikman as a broadcaster. I think he's one of the best in the business. He calls it like he sees it. That makes him unique. And he's never afraid. He doesn't pull punches. He's never afraid to say whatever he thinks. That can have a downside, though. So they're showing the game. There's another flash of Taylor Swift on the screen after a Kelce catch. And I don't know whether he was joking. I don't know whether he misspoke or whatever. Maybe he didn't have the facts. But for the record, what we know in the public is that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are not married yet. Troy Aikman referred to Taylor Swift as Travis Kelce's missus.
World exclusive here, Brian. World exclusive.
I don't know if in 2024 if that works anymore, or if it should work. You're going to have half the population that knows it's a joke, that loves the joke. You're going to have half the population and all the Swifties that absolutely hate it because you've insulted the queen of the world.
You can let us know in the comments what you think of this whole situation. For the record, I want to put out there that Taylor Swift is one of the most famous people in the world. If she's attending anything, it's unsurprising that they're going to put the camera on her. In my mind,
I think it happened a lot last year, the last I heard, right? I mean, Taylor Swift was on TV a lot last year at Chiefs games.
Yeah, I am more than fine with Taylor Swift doing it. You're bringing more people to the NFL that might not be into the NFL, might not know.
The NFL's never been more popular thanks to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, exactly.